Just desserts. We are gathered here today to laugh at one of the most heinous and bigoted people on the internet losing their source of income. Kangmin Lee, a piece of shit racist, posted a Twitter video announcing his intention to grift on YouTube and other platforms, and I thought it would be funny to watch this video together because this couldn't have happened to a better guy. Without any further ado.
Hello everyone, my name is Kangmin Lee, and I was just fired from my job for my conservative beliefs.
Right off the bat, he opens this video with a lie. Lee was not fired for conservative beliefs. Lee was fired because he is a racist and a sexist masquerading as a Christian conservative. I'm aware the Venn diagram is nearly one big circle there, but you know what I mean. Lee is attempting to play the victim in this video, and if you know anything about this 4-foot-tall elf, you know he is full of shit.
This wasn't about my job performance or my relationships with colleagues. It happened because of the things I've said online and the political and religious views I've shared.
Now we're getting closer to the truth. But again, this framing of, I didn't get fired for my performance, is him trying to paint a narrative that he was fired unfairly. The problem, Kangmin, is that as an employee, you represent your company on and off the clock. If you do something they deem inappropriate, you can be fired for that very reason in each of the 3 states you operate in. Being a racist bigot is usually one of the main reasons people get fired while off the clock. I suppose that because you've gotten away with this for so long that you thought you were immune to this, but welcome to the consequences of your actions. Better late than never.
Right before I was about to head out to work, I got a call from an executive at my workplace, and he opened with this.
The reason for this call is that we've decided to terminate your contract effective immediately.
Oh.
Beginning today and going forward, you're going to cease all contact with employees and you are not welcome on our campus.
So they told me I was being removed immediately and not to return. The main reason? Because my posts were dehumanizing and derogatory.
What's with the air quotes, Kangmin? Your words are dehumanizing and derogatory. I mean, are these not your tweets? You've said much, much worse. These were all in the last year.
It's clear to us that your commentary invokes language that's derogatory and dehumanizing.
The specific example they kept bringing up is when I called women who celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk hags and psychopaths. And apparently, that's unacceptable. What else are they? Calling them psychopaths is mild compared to the depraved gloating over the death of an innocent man.
Strange position to take there, Mr. Lee, when Charlie Kirk himself did exactly what you called these people psychopaths for. I mean, Kirk gleefully asked for a hero to bail out Pelosi's assailant.
If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
Said clearly that gun deaths were acceptable as long as his political beliefs were upheld.
But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
So clearly you are okay with making fun of someone's death as long as you are the ones doing it. Also, you're leaving out what actually happened. You didn't just call these people hags and psychopaths. You literally stated that women should be a helpmate and to have their right to vote stripped away. That's what you got fired for, you low IQ piece of shit. Blatant misogyny. And I just have to ask, do you not realize that you are a Korean? Meaning that if the government decides to strip away the civil rights of citizens, you would be next? Because aside from being a useful attack dog against other minority groups in this country, racist white people don't like Asians either. That's because despite your best efforts to paint black people as the perpetrators of anti-Asian violence in this country, it was actually racist white people that committed most crimes against Asians during COVID. Can't per capita your way out of this one.
But they didn't care about the context. So what specifically?
Well, how about yesterday when you implied that women shouldn't have the right to vote and that women are hags, miserable people, birthers, and psychopaths?
I didn't call women that.
A blatant lie. Let's put an arrow next to each word your employer said you said.
How about yesterday when you implied that women shouldn't have the right to vote and that women are hags, miserable people, birthers, and psychopaths?
I didn't call women that.
Looks like you said every single one of those things. Aren't you supposed to be a Christian? Isn't not lying like one of the 10 Commandments? Why is it that people that call themselves Christians don't seem to actually follow the Bible and are some of the worst people imaginable?
Yes, you did. It's very clear. We have evidence of it.
Yeah, you can pull it up. I said that liberal women who dehumanize
No, you didn't
people
say
and
liberal women.
celebrate
You
that.
did not say liberal women. You did not say liberal women.
The context is.
There's no context. Your language.
Do you mind if I can?
I'm going to finish.
Shout out to whoever Lee's boss was. Normally when these kinds of things happen, the employer speaks in HR speak and lets the recently fired get away with saying nonsense. Lee just tried to say he said liberal women. He didn't, and that there was more context to his tweet. There wasn't. This is the kind of person we need in charge of a workplace, one that will protect their employees very strongly and not let people like this get away with murder. Kudos to him.
Your language is dehumanizing. You target every kind of identity that's represented. I'm embarrassed that we're just realizing it.
So the context behind that is the thousands upon thousands of videos and tweets and posts of people who were celebrating the assassination of a husband and a father 2 weeks ago. So the context is the sheer number. It was like 80 to 20, 90 to 10. The majority of people celebrating his assassination, someone murdered in cold blood, were women.
Even if that were true, it's not. You think that provides context for you saying women shouldn't have the ability to vote? This guy is a moron. And let's not forget, Kangmin himself uses the death of a father as a punchline, so he's getting mad at people doing something he does himself. You can't make this shit up.
Now, these are women who are untethered to their family. They don't have good family lives, right? They have abandoned their families.
It's incredible that he's publicly playing this recording as if it's making him look better. First of all, he's claiming to know that thousands of women on social media don't have children and have abandoned their families. Mind you, this guy is an incel. He couldn't have a family if he wanted to, but he somehow has magical powers and knows the identities of thousands of women on social media. Unbelievably embarrassing.
And they don't have children.
So you don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay, sir. So this is, sir.
To suggest that the answer is to.
Am I allowed to finish, or are you going to keep white-splaining to me?
And the anti-woke right-wing bigot immediately resorts to the tactics of those he whines about on Twitter. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm honestly flabbergasted that he's embarrassing himself like this. He's just showing himself to be a hypocrite, whining about racism when he's a wannabe Klan member. And calling this white-splaining is insane to me, given all his employer said was that he doesn't know the life circumstances of thousands of women on Twitter, which is an objective fact. This is the funniest phone call I've ever heard, and I've listened to the entirety of the "Why did you redeem it" call.
We can be done with the conversation. You are no longer permitted on this campus. You are effectively terminated immediately from your employment.
I asked for another example, and he accused me of saying that fat people shouldn't exist. What?
I wonder why anyone would come to the conclusion that you dislike certain people.
You clearly believe that fat people shouldn't exist.
What?
Correct?
I have never said that. I've never said
Correct.
that fat people should never exist. This is your emotion speaking.
He did not say you said that. He said you clearly believe that. I mean, dude, if you're going to post literal evidence of someone not saying what you say they said, wait, don't do that. You're only making yourself look bad. It's very clear that you have a problem with fat people. Dude, there's basically a tweet of you doing, saying, or implying everything you say you don't do, say, or imply. These are not conservative beliefs. These are you being a spiteful, hateful little piece of garbage.
If you're able to at least use your faculties of reasoning.
We have a file full of odious things you've said.
Odious, like what else? What else?
Any one of which would be eligible. We would escort them out of the building. My only regret is that we've just discovered this at this point, and that's on this institution.
Okay, so I don't understand what beliefs that I hold, because I don't dehumanize women. I have talked many times on my platform of how women are incredible, that their telos, which means design in Greek, is to birth life.
This man's IQ is so low, it's almost as tall as he is. How is it that you don't understand what you just said is dehumanizing, Lee? It's apparent that you don't know what the word dehumanize means, so let's put it on the screen. As you can see, to dehumanize in this context is to demean a person's individuality. If a woman doesn't want to be a birther, you think they are not fulfilling some arbitrary purpose, which would also automatically dehumanize infertile women. You also very clearly stated women should have their right to vote stripped away, which would further disenfranchise them by removing their ability to express their individuality in the democratic process.
And that's a very important role in civilization. I've said that multiple times. I said they're empathetic, they're compassionate, they're great nurturers and caregivers. That's what I've said. I've also said that men need to step up. I've never said that men are better than women or women are better than men. I've never said that fat people should never exist. That's absurd. All I've said is that they should take care of their bodies and that they should steward the bodies that God has given them, right? So
I'm not interested in this debate.
And you see, no matter how much I try to reason, this is how liberals think. They don't value diversity of thought or the free marketplace of ideas.
Holy irony, Batman. How is it that in one breath you claim liberals don't believe in the marketplace of ideas, but in the next get upset that people exercise their freedom of speech by laughing at the death of Charlie Kirk? Besides the fact that you literally do this yourself, that's what the marketplace of ideas looks like, you flaming hypocrite. It's not just pointing and laughing at the left. It's also pointing and laughing at the right. You bitches are the snowflakes now, crying when people do to you what you've been doing to them for years. You unironically use the term white-splaining for fuck's sake. You love white dick. Why are you complaining now that you're the one taking the back shots? Besides, this is literally you celebrating people being fired from their jobs for expressing their freedom of speech, meaning you should also be laughing at yourself right now. I'm telling you, there's literally a tweet from this guy for everything.
They will fire you, destroy your life, and in extreme cases like we saw with Charlie Kirk, kill you and dance on your grave if you dare hold any right-wing opinions. To be an open conservative today in America still means to be a social pariah. Companies and institutions will punish you without question.
That's because your beliefs have no place in civil society. You openly advocate for the subjugation of 50% of the population. You are a flaming racist. You think the colonization and conquest of people is okay, except when those people being conquered are white people. You are obsessed with black people, and you refer to trans people as troons. I wouldn't want you at my place of business either, and I think any job you land in the future should be made aware of your positions on these things. They have a right to know what kind of person they are employing. Your inherent biases will affect how you interact with your colleagues and potential customers.
But I believe in speaking honestly about my values. I've tried to be respectful while also being direct.
Ah, yes. Look at this very respectful tweet.
Of course, I tend to be sarcastic and incorporate humor in my posts, but apparently that's become grounds for dismissal. I don't think being conservative or having strong religious Christian convictions should cost someone their livelihood.
But you do think opposing positions to yours should cost someone theirs. So why are we supposed to feel sympathy for you again? You think being a Christian makes you special and that you should get to say the heinous shit you do without repercussion? No, it's fuck around and find out time, dipshit. You said it yourself. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences.
It is possible for someone to hold beliefs that you disagree with and that person not be a crazy, hateful person.
Oh, I agree. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply to you because you are a hateful, crazy person. This is what grifting looks like, people. Blatant lying and hypocrisy because he's panicking and needs to fleece people of their money. So he LARPs as an innocent Christian, being persecuted for his Christian beliefs instead of being fired for saying women shouldn't have the right to vote. Like, think about that for a second. He's saying he doesn't value a woman's opinion, so how could he ever work with women at a workplace? His positions necessitate not valuing his own colleagues' input, and even worse, what if he has a female boss? He clearly stated women shouldn't be in positions of power. This nut shouldn't be at anyone's company.
I just wish that they at least tried to have a conversation with me before viewing me and firing me as a derogatory, dehumanizing bigot. They don't even know what it is that I believe, but as you can see, they chose to take things out of context to create a fake version of me.
Dude, you have years of hateful, spiteful, bigoted posts on social media. Your boss literally said they have a file of things you said. Are you arguing that the things you publicly post aren't really what you actually believe? That ought to concern your bigoted followers because they're taking you at your word. In any case, you're lying one way or the other.
Because having a conversation and trying to reach a place of understanding is hard. And it's easy, instead, to dismiss and fire someone who disagrees with you as a racist, xenophobic, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, everyphobic monster. They chose to treat me like some violent terrorist that's not allowed on their property or to contact any of their employees anymore. They are more angry with me calling out garbage behavior than the garbage behavior itself.
This is why you're not welcome, Mr. Lee. You are not taking responsibility for your own actions. You don't see why what you do is wrong, and that shows you are not mature enough to work for someone's company. You are a child with a victim's mentality, which is ironic because you say exactly that about black people every other week. You lie and pretend that you're not who we all know you to be. You're asking for a conversation with people that you denigrate and shit on. You're not owed a conversation. Were an employee. That means you do what is asked of you. You assume that because you have a lot of bigots that follow you on Twitter that you were hot shit, until hot shit actually showed up and told you to get the fuck off the premises. Now you're begging for people to save you because you couldn't be normal. You can't call out garbage behavior while being a garbage person.
They're more angry at me calling people celebrating Charlie's assassination hags and psychopaths than they were at the very demons who celebrated Charlie's assassination.
This attempt at grifting is pathetic. Once again, your boss pointed out multiple things you said as the reason for your firing. You didn't just call people hags. You said women shouldn't have the ability to vote, you fucking clown. You are also guilty of making light of someone's death, dipshit, and you yourself believe that people who do that should be fired. So why are you upset? You ordered this meal, now eat it.
So what now? Well, I know some of you have noticed that I've been absent from making videos and content for almost 2 years now. And that's true, and I sincerely apologize for my absence.
Let's cut the shit. You stopped posting on YouTube because nobody was watching the trash you produced. You're not sorry for not uploading. You have 6 videos in 4 years. What you meant to say was, I failed at grifting the first time, please give me another chance. At least that would be honest, Christian.
I would post on X in my free time from time to time, but I wanted to live a more normal life for a while off the internet. I was struggling financially and I tried to make money in other ways by working other jobs. I also spent time in counseling, trying to get right with God, because I realized I had been living a life of sin as a hypocrite while publicly espousing Christian conservative values. I even tried pivoting into other career paths to see if that's where God was leading me, but it seems God had other plans. I believe God is using this to push me into what I was already being prepared for: full-time content creation and public speaking. Sharing truth, building a community that isn't afraid to stand firm. If you remember 4 years ago, this is actually the second time I've been fired from my job for my social media posts.
And apparently he hasn't learned his lesson yet, like the problem child that he is. Well, unfortunately, this is my realm, Mr. Lee. You've been ducking the smoke with me ever since I pulled your card last year, but now you've decided to try grifting on my platform. Well, guess what? That means your ass is grass, because I will be sticking my size 12 so far up your ass, you're going to be spitting up Jordan logos until you inevitably get demonetized on this platform. So, be seeing you.